This
new phase, with our app Dr. SV, will cover a huge universe of patients. I'm really so excited because I think we're creating the best health system in the world.
On Tuesday, Nayib Bukele announced a new incursion with Google's AI system, Gemini, into El Salvador's embattled public health system. In the bit you just heard, he was talking with Guy Ney, the director of Google Cloud for the public sector in Latin America. Amid years of budget cuts to public health and after thousands of reported layoffs last year, Bukele says Gemini will help manage chronic illness in El Salvador. I'm Roman Gracier, the editor of El Faro English, and this is our weekly podcast, Central America in Minutes.
In Nicaragua, the house arrest of Daniel Ortega's brother
relates more to El Salvador and Honduras than to Guatemala. In the case of Guatemala,
globalism comes to die at CIPA, but in El Salvador, it's already dead.
Central America in Minutes, an original podcast by El Faro English.
The government of El Salvador says some 3 million people live with chronic illnesses, including high blood pressure, kidney disease, and diabetes, many of them undiagnosed. That's a towering figure in a country of around 6.4 million. The public health system is under increasing strain. Unions announced over 7,700, quote, arbitrary and illegal firings in 2025. As Jimmy Alvarado reported for El Faro English in March, El Salvador is making big social spending cuts with support from a range of international financiers, including the IMF. As for the health sector, the government is replacing primary care personnel with a telemedicine program implementing AI. Back in April 2024, the government planned to draw from money from the Development Bank of Latin America to fund Dr. SV, this week's AI medical app. The Secretary of the Union of Social Security Medical Workers, Rafael Aguirre, claims that Dr. SV cannot treat all cardiovascular or chronic degenerative diseases. The government, meanwhile, claimed without providing more details that the app will eventually assist surgeries and in treating cancer. Bukele's made other AI announcements. Back in December, he announced Elon Musk's tool, Grok, would be introduced in Salvadoran classrooms. In February 2025, the Bukele-controlled legislature approved a new law to cater to AI, similar to the Bitcoin law in 2021 to entice Bitcoiners. In late 2024, the government quietly rolled back Bitcoin as legal tender. With the new venture, familiar faces are popping up. 2 weeks ago, Stacey Herbert, director of El Salvador's Bitcoin office, announced ticket sales for a SAV AI Summit, to be held from April 20th to 21st at the National Palace in El Salvador. El Salvador is open for business as the world's premier testbed for real-world AI deployment, she wrote. But don't trust us. Come verify it for yourselves. Every week, we translate Central America in under 10 minutes. Go to support.elfaro.net to help us continue. Next, to Guatemala. On Monday, John Barrett, the interim ambassador at the U.S. Embassy, was promoted and will now take up the same post in Venezuela. Next up as interim ambassador in Guatemala is Jorgen Andrews, a career INL anti-narcotics official at the State Department. He's holding down the fort until Trump's pick for permanent ambassador, Juan Rodriguez, a Florida international arbitrage attorney, is confirmed by the Senate. As for Barrett, he arrived in Guatemala in January, amid bitterness from right-wing opposition groups about the Biden administration's sanction policy and defense of the 2023 election results. Barrett quickly turned over a new leaf with Guatemalan elites. This year, it has seemed like every camera in Guatemala has been trained on the contentious election processes for the Constitutional Court, Supreme Electoral Tribunal, and next Attorney General. The Constitutional Court elections, the highest court in the country, were held in early March. U.S. ambassadors picking favorites in Central America is nothing new, and Barrett was no exception. 6 deputies aligned with President Bernardo Arévalo told digital outlet Plaza Pública that the day of the election, discussions were taking place in the presidential chamber of Congress regarding calls Barrett made to legislators. They said he asked them to vote for incumbent candidate Roberto Molina Barreto, a conservative darling. Molina Barreto was seeking re-election to the court for 5 years and is known for votes such as vacating former dictator Efraín Ríos Mont's 2013 sentence for genocide. Plaza Pública also confirmed with a U.S. Embassy employee and a member of the executive that Barrett did make such calls to tip the vote in Molina Barreto's favor. Samuel Perez, a congressman from the ruling party faction Raíces, told the outlet that, quote, the phrase Barrett used was something like, "This is a new embassy and it's a train. You decide whether to get on board or stand in the way," close quote. 2 days before the election, Arévalo claimed that it was the press that wanted to make it seem as though the embassy was involved in the voting. He said he would demand explanations from the State Department. Meanwhile, the embassy claimed it wasn't carrying water for anyone, but said, cryptically, "We will not tolerate interference from drug traffickers and organized crime." And guess what? After 15 hours of debate during the congressional vote, Molina Barreto won. Pressure from the United States to keep certain figures in power didn't come solely from Barrett. As we reported in El Faro English a month ago, DOJ filings showed 2 lobbying groups working for the Guatemalan opposition in Trump's Washington. One includes Trump advisor Roger Stone, who pushed to pardon former Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernández, and who wrote, without evidence, "Narco-controlled election fraudster Bernardo Arévalo emerges as the Maduro of Guatemala." 1 day before the new Constitutional Court was sworn in, Barrett was off to his next mission as the interim ambassador in Caracas. Do you get the El Faro English newsletter? For a deeper look at Central America every week, go to elfaro.net/en and subscribe to help us topple the dictatorship of the algorithm. Last to Costa Rica, where a new investigative report by the Judicial Investigation Agency, or OIJ, confirms the identity of a Nicaraguan citizen as one of the main perpetrators in the murder of former Nicaraguan military commander Roberto Samcam, who had been living in exile with his family since 2018. Samcam, who like many disgruntled former Sandinistas, became a strong opponent of the Ortega Murillo regime, was shot dead outside his home in San Jose last June. The exiled digital outlet Confidencial reported that the Nicaraguan man Kenny Navarrete, who has been incarcerated since 2016, allegedly coordinated the killing of Samcam from prison, along with other Costa Ricans. Navarrete is not a totally unknown name in the investigation. The report also states that in interviews conducted in 2024 with Samcam by Costa Rica's National Intelligence and Security Department, he identified the man as a middleman between Nicaraguan intelligence and contract killers in Costa Rica as part of an alleged network set up to assassinate political dissidents. For Samcam's widow, Claudia Vargas, she hopes this new development will further reinforce that the murder was political. The government's silence has drawn criticism from Nicaraguan exiles, political leaders, and the Legislative Assembly, which voiced concern for the more than 9,000 refugees in Costa Rica. Vargas is also a private party to the prosecution. Her lawyers have called the murder a crime of state terrorism directly involving the Nicaraguan dictatorship. Thanks for streaming Central American Minutes, written by Juliana Ramazzini, Leirian Colon Santiago, and me, Roman Gressier. Sound designed by Amnian. Find us wherever you do your streaming, and we'll be back next week. Hasta pronto.